So you probably want to know what the best page builder is for WordPress. Well, I've tested out plenty of page builders to see and find out which one resonates, especially from the UX side. I will share the reasons why I like it, and I tell you a little bit about the page builder, show a quick demonstration of the page builder, and I will show the pricing. And in the end, I share my opinion about the page builder. So let's get to it. So my first page builder that I really can recommend is Elementor. To keep me on time, I will be using Blitzit, which has a timer for 10 minutes, so I can't talk more than 10 minutes about the page builder. So hopefully it will all go good. Elementor is the page builder, and it's my first choice. Most of the people that are coming to WordPress are starting out with Elementor. It's a tool that has been used by many websites, 8 million as you can see right here, and it is very easy to get started. Now, if we look at the page builder itself, it's free available. You can just go to plugins, and when you add a new plugin, you can find Elementor for free in the plugin repository. When you hit activate, you can install it. Now, the biggest benefit of Elementor is that there's a lot of third-party plugins available for Elementor specifically. As you can see right here, there's already a bunch of plugins that you can install just for Elementor itself. And that's why it's one of my most favorite picks. Now, if we open up the page builder, we can add a new page and close everything from Gutenberg because we are not going to use it. We're going to use the Edit with Elementor button. And when you open that up, you will go inside of the page builder itself. After a few seconds, it has been loaded, and it will give you a very big commercial for AI. And that's, for me, the biggest downside of using Elementor. There are always upsells somewhere. We can see that throughout the UI. If we are using the free version, when you're using the paid version, only the AI things are there still to upsell you stuff, or even the image optimization, and it's getting a bit annoying. So hopefully you can opt out or just be not aware of them. But this is basically your Elementor what you get greeted on. And if you want to add something to build your website, you just look on the left hand side, and as you can see, here's an upgrade already available for the pro things that you can add. Most of the times you don't need them, so you can ignore this one. It would be nice if you could turn it off, but it's not there right now. However, if you want to build a website, we have the basic blocks there. We have a container, which you can set in a flex or grid, and this allows you to build out your whole website. We can go into heading and add a heading in there, or even text blocks. And as you can see, it's just a drag and drop editor. You can drag it from the left hand side and drag it inside of your page. And you can build up your page and change settings. If you want to change text, it's already available right here. And if you want to change styles, you can go into style and then make changes to, for example, the color. We can make it the global colors, which helps you with being consistent throughout. I will show you how to set that up right in a minute. And you can change the colors right here. As you can see, we can have a color picker. That's what it's called. And then we can pick any color we would like to, from blue to red. Maybe this one's good. And here is a little bit of explanation. Using the global colors will allow you to reuse it on other places as well. Because when we add another heading, like so, you see that it turns blue. And this is because the default style is blue instead of red. What we can do is go to settings, and here we have access to all kinds of global settings, helping you out with creating consistency throughout your website. We can set up the fonts, which one you want to use. For instance, we want to use not Roboto, but Inter, and then we can click back and hit save. I see that this little pop-up right here is blocking something in the editor as well. We can set up our global colors, and here's where the global colors come in. You can change from blue, for example, to the nice red that we would like to. Hit save, and we close this up. You see that our heading that we didn't change has now the other color. This will be very handy to have. You can also add in another container. If you'd like to, you can use a container within a container. If you like containers within your containers, you can add buttons and you can do all sort of things. As you can clearly see, Elementor is really easy to get started just for using it. It doesn't have a big learning curve or whatsoever to build out a simple website. And I've built many websites using Elementor and still am using it. Though for me personally, I think where Elementor is right now is not the ideal for me to build it. I'm missing classes, I'm missing components to build out custom structures that I can reuse throughout the website. But Editor v4 is coming out. They have already have plans to create such a thing. Let me show you. v4. And in Editor v4, they will solve the biggest issues that I personally have with Elementor. They will add classes, they will add variables, different states, but they also add components. And the atomic components are stripped down versions, which means less HTML. And that's why I think Elementor will be my top choice also in the future, because the integration by third parties is wide. There are very many third-party plugins that are integrated with Elementor, and this helps go to the next level. So we made it within time, luckily, 3 minutes left. Let's see. The only thing that we need to discuss is, of course, the elephant in the room called pricing. If we look at the pricing that we have right now, you can have $4.99 for the basic setup, but you actually need the plan for $6.99 if you want access to all these themes, but also to the form builder, dynamic data, and it allows you to expand what you can do with Elementor itself. Now, if you want to see YouTube videos about Elementor, there are plenty. I will leave some in the description for you to follow if you want to know more. So let me know, what do you think about Elementor? Would you like to try it out? All right, on to the next one. So let's close this up and let's pull in. Yes, we can leave. My next favorite builder. My next favorite builder is Bricks. And it's not without reason. What Elementor lacks is something that Bricks does solve. It has classes. It uses components. It's in the alpha state right now, which means that it's not ready for production yet, but components are coming, and that's very important to me. And as you can see, it looks a little bit similar to Elementor, but it has way more powerful features in terms of dynamic content, but also the way they have built it. They have a built-in menu builder. You can do responsive options just like in Elementor. You have a WooCommerce builder where you can build a WooCommerce website, and also a query loop builder. You can customize how it looks and feels. These are all things that also are available in Elementor. So why is this different? Because it is more focused towards developers or people who know how to code. Still, I think it's pretty intuitive to use if you take it step by step. You don't have to learn the whole tool with its third-party plugins immediately. Talking about third-party plugins, although Bricks Builder is not as well integrated with third-party plugins as Elementor is, there are a lot of third-party plugins that will integrate with Bricks Builder. I see that I didn't set up my timer, so let's go to next one, skip. You see a lot of adaptation for Bricks Builder. So more and more tools are trying to get into the ecosystem of Bricks Builder, which is a very good and golden case for Bricks Builder to use it. So if you feel like that Elementor has certain things that you can't do right now, you can try out Bricks Builder, and you can try it for free. If you press try Bricks for free, you just set up your email address, create an account, and then you can test it out. Now, if you want to use Bricks Builder, you have a Bricks menu right here for your templates and that sort of things. And if you want to use it, we go to add a page, and just like Elementor, skip all the Gutenberg stuff and click on edit with Bricks. Now, Bricks doesn't have a free option for you to use, so you can only try it out via the Try Bricks button on their website. So here we have Bricks, and you can build a page just like in Elementor. You can drag on, you can add a section, add a heading in there, some basic text and buttons. Now, if you're coming from Elementor, you are used to styling everything directly in here, in the content and in style options. You are able to do so as well. So, for instance, we want to change our default colors right here. We can go into our background, pick the color icon and pick a different color. And as you can see, you can change it immediately. But the power of Bricks Builder right now is that you can use classes. Now, why are classes amazing to understand and use? If we create a class button and we want to create a purple button with white text, we've just done that. We have a button with white text. What if we want to have another container and we want to add another button? So we add another heading, another text, another button. Let's put it in the other container. There we go. And you can see the default color is now the yellow button. But we don't want to have the yellow button. We want to have a purple button. And as you remember, we created something. And this is called a class. It's a button class. And when I select it, it immediately takes over the styling of the other button. If you want to make changes to this specific class, which is a reusable name for a set of styling options, we can do that. For instance, we want to change our corners. I think the edged corners are a little bit too harsh. I want to round it. So what we do is go inside of the border and box shadow, and here you have border radius. We can click this button to unlink them all or link them all, and we can type in 1 pixel. You need to add a unit of measure here. So for instance, 1 rem. And as you can see, both buttons now have a corner in there. And that's where the power of using classes comes in very handy. Because imagine having to do this over and over again for different buttons on different pages. That's what Elementor does, right? It only creates a certain instance for one-time use only. And with using classes, you can have a reusable setup. So you can use it every time again. And then when you make changes to a certain kind of button, you can change it everywhere in one go. This is why classes are amazing. And I love Bricks Builder for adding that. Now, just like in Elementor, we can go to settings and theme styles. We can add a default version. We have to click the plus sign first. We can add a default version. So default. And when we hit create, you have the global styling options here as well. If you want to change the global stylings like the colors, but also, for instance, for our buttons, we can search for a specific element. In this instance, it's called a button. Let's see if we can find it. Or perhaps a heading. Here you have default settings for your heading. For instance, I don't want it to be an H3. I want to be H1 by default. There we go. Now it changes. And if we want to do changes for the H1s itself, we can go into our typography and make changes to our heading. For instance, we can change the color. We want the color to always be orange by default. Now, if you hit save right here, it will save the changes that we have made, and then it will be visible for the world. That's how Bricks Builder works. As you can see, it's a little bit more that you can do, and I can imagine that some of these settings, because there's a lot of settings, are a bit overwhelming. But just know that Elementor with Editor v4 will have similar options. So if you are already overwhelmed with Bricks Builder, just wait when you see what Elementor does, because it will be the same thing. A lot of options to make changes. So I think it's best to say to better get used to it. Now, if we are talking about pricing, we can go into Bricks Builder, and if we want to get bricks, you see that there's a normal pricing, like $79 a year, which is the minimum recommended that we can get. You also have one for $249 a year for unlimited websites, but if you pay that price 2 times, you get it for your lifetime. So you pay once and then you're done. You pay $5.99, so a little bit over of 2 years of the unlimited plan, and you can use Bricks Builder forever. It's a really great option that they have, and it's something that some of the page builders don't allow you to do. So let me think. What do you think about Bricks Builder? Do you like it? Don't you like it? I would love to know in the comments down below. Bricks Builder is the tool that I really want to use, and I'm using right now for my own purposes. Elementor is something that I use at work because I'm a WordPress specialist, and Bricks Builder is something that I prefer to use right now and this moment. It has a lot of great options and flexibility that Elementor just doesn't have right now. And I can see the future of Bricks Builder being more towards innovation compared to Elementor, because the user base is not as big just yet. And the integration for third party, I think Bricks Builder is a really good option if you're looking into a page builder. Now that we have talked about bricks, we have another page builder that I can show that I'm really happy about. So these two are my favorite page builders that you can use right now, Elementor and Bricks Builder. And the next couple of page builders are the other ones that I really like too, but they are still in development. So be careful on running them on your website. And the first one up is Buildarius. Now, Buildarius is still in development and has a lot of great options. It looks a little bit similar like Bricks Builder, but it has options like GraphQL. You can create components, you can use CSS as well, and manage those. And it feels like an iteration on Bricks Builder. The things that they also have, which I really like, is that you have releases. Now, if you have worked as a developer, you want to release a version when it's ready, and then build other ones in the backend that it's not seen by the public. When you release something, it will be visible for everybody. So if you know how to work in a GitHub-like workflow, that you have something in staging and then release it, then this is really great for you. As you can see, it works together with a lot of plugins, but it's a new kid on the block. So not everybody knows yet how this works or uses. Here we can start off with using the default settings from Buildarius. And if you want to install and play with it yourself, you can just find it within the WordPress repository to Buildarius. And there it is. And when you install it, you can activate it, and then you're ready to use it. Now, if we add a page similar to Elementor and similar to Bricks Builder, close the Gutenberg and add it with Buildarius. You will be going into Buildarius, as you can see right here. And here you have already some things on your website. You have a nice header, which is directly visible, and you can add it with clicking edit component. And when you edit the component, you can do some changes right here to even the SVG. But if we want to add elements, we can press elements right here, and we can add something to our heading. For instance, we want to add a link. We want to make a change to the link. And as you can see, it has similarities to Elementor and Bricks Builder. Where it's different is that you can go from the component back to the page that you were building on. So this is the page that we were working on, and we can add all kinds of elements in here. You have access to the global components like your footer or the header that we just adjusted. And we can scroll a little bit down, and here we see that there's a lot of things available. Now, if we want to search for it, we can type in what we are searching for, and we'll add in our element. And if we want to add more in there, we can just click on it and will be added in there. Now in here, we can change the tags if needed. If you are really a developer, you always want to set the right text instead of this being a div. It actually needs to be a section. And as you can see, it already shows the preferred sections that you can use for this element specifically. For our text, those are text elements that we can select. And if we go into styles, we can make changes, just like in Bricks Builder and Elementor, directly in here. So we can go into our typography, change the color, for instance, turn it red, and then the changes for this instance. Now you see a blue here. And this is using variables. Variables are just like classes and are reusable values for your colors, but also for your font family, also for your weight. So everything is reusable, which makes this amazing because you don't have to think, which value did I put on the radii of a button? You just know, all right, it's a specific radius. It's radius SM, small. Not to be confused with another SM. But you can also use it for colors. For instance, a base color of 600. And this makes it very easy and manageable to have a way of reusing the values over and over again without you needing to think, what did I put in there? Now, Bricks Builder has similar kinds of options. And as you saw with Elementor as well, they call it global colors. So it's in there as well, but this one goes a little bit further. Just like Bricks Builder, you can add different font size, but also different line height. So everything can be set. And just like in Bricks Builder and Elementor, you can set it locally, but you can also create a style. For instance, we can add a class that's already pre-made, like Badge Ghost, which makes this a nice big text right here. And if we want to make changes, we can switch back to local, or switch back to the Badge Ghost. Other things that we can discover are our selectors, so we can select what kind of things we want to change right now. And as you can see, you can make changes for the whole website. So you can do that from one place. Instead of you needing to search which class did you put where, you can immediately just change the classes right here. You also have CSS variables, which are the variables that I mentioned you saw on the left hand side. And when you save changes, it by default saves in a draft version. So what we need to do is go to releases, and then we need to release the changes that we have made. So we need to create releases. So it's one step extra, but if you are well known in the WordPress space, this will be very helpful. We can set it to version 0.1. We want to publish this page to live, and we can create a release. Then we press this button, and now the release has been done. So this means that the page that we just made is now available for everybody to see. A little bit more complex, but the flexibility that Buildarius has is great, and it's just amazing to show you how they build it and what the intention is and how to use it. It feels similar like Bricks Builder and also Elementor, but it has some nice things that allow you to do a little bit more than the other tool. Now, this is still in beta or beta. It's gonna be better. And so we can't use it on a live website. You can use it for test. Now, with 2 minutes on the clock, I also want to talk about pricing. Because if we look at pricing right now, you can buy it for one website, and then it's for $59, an unlimited website for $129. But, and like I said, know that this is still being developed, which means that there can be breaking changes. They will fix it quite fast, but just be aware. What do you think about Buildarius? Let me know in the comments below. Next up is the latest and greatest page builder that has been released by a very well-known guy in the WordPress space. And if you don't know him, perhaps you will know him sometime. My page builder that I'm talking about is, of course, Edge. Let me go to the next page builder. Edge is made because some of the things that Bricks Builder and also Elementor and also other page builders have, it is not the ideal version of it. And that's why Kevin Geary, well known in the WordPress space, is creating Edge WP. It's more tailored for developers because you can change the code. And when I saw that he mentioned how it was used and why it exists, I fell in love immediately. I was like, all right, I want to see where this goes. And they have made a lot of things in just like half a year. Now the pricing is not available. It will be available for public launch in September. So that's the first time you can purchase Edge if you would like to. But we can look at a demo. If we go to pages and we'll add a new page, So it looked like that I needed to activate Edge before I could use it. So let's continue. So if we want to edit with Edge, we edit with Edge. And as you can see, this looks very different for the other two page builders. And the reason being, this is made specifically for a more professional workflow, or for people who have more with adding HTML itself. Because as you can see, we have HTML and we can add elements right at the bottom right here. And we can click to add them to the page. Now what makes it different is that we also have our structure, so what's on the page right now, but we also have the HTML section. And if you would like to, we can make changes right here. So for instance, we want to add a clause of button primary. We can do that right here. And as you can see, button primary has now been added. We can make changes in the CSS as well, or make changes in the styling right here. So the promise of Edge is starting off with being able to adjust the settings. So it allows you to edit the code itself instead of needing to do everything in the page builder, which I think is refreshing and something that we definitely needed. It really helps out to bridge the gap between code, but also using still a visual builder. We have some text that we can change. We can change the content. It also allows you to create components, but just know this is pre-alpha. So not everything is in there, but it is really powerful for what it has right now. And I really am excited for how this will go and work. They read like your header and footer, but also for your blog post that you have a sidebar or whatever, we can manage that right here. And we can also make changes to our styles and perhaps delete them if we would like to. And if we go back to the builder, here we are. Primary. And as you can see, we can add and make changes to this right here. If we want to change the color to red, it will be changed to the color red. And we can see that the change has been added here. We can also make the change to dimensions. For instance, we want this to be 200 pixels in width. So, and will reflect right here. And if we want to make changes right here, you see that it is reflected in the left-hand panel as well. As I said, this makes me very happy to have this kind of flexibility within a page builder that is within WordPress. To be able to make changes not only in the CSS, in the code, and also see it reflected everywhere where you make those changes. Now, the promise with Kevin Geary for Edge is, in my opinion, very good. It allows you to create and do things all from the Edge WP page builder. The biggest downside for Edge right now is that it's not publicly available. It's being developed in a closed group, and you can only buy it in September. That's the next opportunity. So if you have missed out, you can follow Kevin Geary to see the updates for Edge. Now let me know, do you like Edge? Do you like to be able to make the changes in the code, see it reflected, or is this a little bit too far for you? I'm wondering. Now, the last two page builders that I wanted to take a look at are a little bit different, because those are page builder that are called headless page builders. Now, what's the difference between a headless page builder or a page builder like Elementor or Bricks Builder? I will tell you. A headless website doesn't directly connect with WordPress. You need to set things up. But it also has an advantage, because if there's a vulnerability in one of the plugins, a security issue, or there's a bug within the plugins within WordPress or whatsoever, it doesn't harm your website directly, because it has an integration. It tries to fetch everything from an external source. To make it a little bit easier, let's pretend that this is WordPress. You have the thing that you see on the front end, what you create with Elementor. And then here you have the WordPress backend where you make the changes and saves in the database and that sort of things. It's your WordPress dashboard. By default, it is married together. So whenever you make a change in Elementor, it will go directly to WordPress, and WordPress saves this to the database. The benefit of this is that when you're using something like WooCommerce or SureCard or a community plugin like Fluent Community or Bodybus, it is all married together. You don't need to set it up separately. With Headless, those two are disconnected. So you can build up your page whatever you like, and you can make it look like what. And if you need something specific for a element, like a blog post or whatever, or you want to manage your listings, you can directly connect to WordPress, ask, hey, I want the listings for a marketplace, for example, and then you can style it within the page builder. So with WordPress, a page builder is connected, two are disconnected, and you need to do a separate request to get all the properties of a listing. And for those two, I have two very exciting page builders that I would like to share. And the first one up is Web Studio. Now, Web Studio feels quite similar if you're used to using something like Webflow or Elementor or Bricks Builder. And as you can see, it allows you to connect with different CMS systems. It also allows you to create directories, filter them, have some kind of e-commerce things, and you can make changes in the web. And these are the default templates that they have already available for you if you'd like to work from a start. So let's do that real quick. Let's change this and choose this and hit clone. It now fires up the Web Studio page builder. And as you can see, it feels quite similar to the other tools, right? You have your stuff on the left-hand side in this case, and you have your changes that you can make on the right-hand side. If we click on our heading, we can change the names and we can change the look and feel on the right-hand side. Here we see that there's already some classes been added because this is a pre-made template, and we can make changes to those specifically. So if we select a heading, we can see that there's a size 2 for the heading button, but maybe I want to change that to size 4. And as you can see, the change has been made. Now on the left-hand side, you have all the elements that are used on this page, and you can add components. You can add a box, and you can add all kinds of elements that you could need for your page, just like in Elementor and Bricks Builder and Build Areas and Edge. So here we have a parallax animation. And as you can see, they just added parallax effects that you can add right here. And if you want to connect it to your website from an external source, you can use different kinds of ways of fetching the data just to make a blog post or whatsoever. Now, that's also the reason why I like Web Studio. It's not dependent on WordPress itself as a system, but the downside is that you're dependent on Web Studio. And also you need to understand how to set it up. Now, there's plenty of tutorials for Web Studio on their own YouTube channel that explain how to set up WordPress within Web Studio itself. Now, let me know, what do you think about Web Studio? Would it be something that you would consider? The last page builder that I want to cover is called Clutch. It's something that I just recently found out, and I am very intrigued by it because it has a lot of settings, as you can see right here. The idea was to have a liberation between a visual builder, but also directly editing the code, just like Edge WP. And that's why I'm very excited about Clutch. So if we go into Clutch, we can add our website. We can create a new project. But in this case, let's create a new project, and you can choose from existing templates that they have already created, and we can create a new project. This will take some minutes to just set up. Let me also quickly change this because the naming isn't right. And here we have the page builder. We can insert layouts. We have blank layouts. We have pages that we can add. We have sections, components. As you can see, there are also other elements that we can add that are already available. I think it needed to load. So let's insert a blank page. We have sections. Let's insert a navbar. And as you can see, there's our navbar. Usually you need to add this to your layout. That's what I've been told. But we can also add other sections. For instance, our hero section. The classical left and right section. And if we want to make changes, we can double click and make the change that we would like to. On the left hand side, you have all your sections that have been added. And on the right hand side, you can make changes to the settings specifically for that one. Just like the other ones, we can add classes, we can use styles directly in here. And if you don't understand a specific property that's available, we can click on it and it will explain how it works and what kind of elements are in there. Now, if we want to add something specific to this section, we can just click it and it will be added without a hassle. Now, what makes this different? It already has Tailwind integrated. You have a lot of options here available. But if we want to make changes, we can open up our code editor. It will fire up VS Code. And as you can see, we can now make changes to the code. We can go inside of our components to add. And this is amazing to have a blend of using a page builder to set up the page itself. And if we want to use specific components and we are able to develop it ourselves or use a library that already exists, we can build out the whole component itself and then use it for our website. We can use every kind of component that is available. And there's a lot available for free. With WordPress, you have to pay for everything that you would like to have on your website. But within React, within the coding world, there's a lot of free options available. So this is a great way for bridging the gap between those two. Now, do know this is still in development, so it's not production ready. But the only thing that is not production ready is the builder itself. When you build out a website, it puts out React, and it means that you are ready to go. So Clutch was the last builder that I really wanted to cover today. And if we look into pricing, you can use it for free right now. They allow you to have hosting with them, and they have a workspace, which is the Clutch application you see right here, because this is not online, this is locally run. And as you can see, the pricing is now $3.49 for one seat, and it's open for a limited time. We also have a $20 a month option if you like to use it, which is way cheaper than the older page builder that we have seen. So if you think this is a very good option, please give it a go, because I really love this, and I can see myself using this in the future as well. Now, I hope this video was helpful. It's a very lengthy video, but I go over my favorite page builders at least. And if I have to pick one or two that I really want to use also when they are done with development at a certain point, if I can pick any, I definitely would like to use Clutch and HWP, because it allows you to do the coding and also the editing with the page builder. Just having access to both of them is the dream. So I can't wait to use that one, and I'm very curious what you think about these page builders. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep designing.